Hey, it's Adam Grant from Work Life, a podcast from TED. This episode is brought to you by Freshworks. Freshworks believes that complexity is the enemy of efficiency. So stop wrestling with bloated, expensive service software that takes forever to implement an update, where ROI is someday, not today. You've been overcharged and underserved for way too long. Uncomplicate with Freshservice for IT and Freshdesk for customer support. And with Freshworks AI-assisted service software, you'll work smarter, not harder. Freshworks uncomplicates. Learn more at freshworks.com.
You know what's wild? Most people are still overpaying for car insurance just because it's a pain to switch. That's why there's Jerry. Jerry is the only app that compares rates from over 50 insurers in minutes and helps you switch fast with no spam calls or hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Before you renew your car insurance policy, do yourself a favor. Download the Jerry app or head to jerry.ai/acast.
It's almost fall, and that means Nordstrom has the best fall fashion under $200. Not only do they have the best trends like trench coats, suede jackets, but they also have the best brands like Urban Outfitters, Madewell, Sporty and Rich. And obviously, don't forget beauty. They have Anastasia Beverly Hills, Beauty Blender, Kosas. And Nordstrom makes it so easy to get what you need and add it quickly into your daily routine. They have fast delivery and risk-free shopping. You can buy online, pick up today, or pick up tomorrow for a wider selection. Or you can pick curbside at Nordstrom stores and Nordstrom Rack. Both options are quick and convenient. Nordstrom also has 2-day shipping and next-day options, so you can get all of your items even faster. And if you need a little extra help, Nordstrom has stylists for free, and their experts will create looks and match your style with your budget. Shop now in stores at Nordstrom.com or download the Nordstrom app.
If you're navigating anxiety, depression, relationship challenges, postpartum struggles, or something else, you deserve care that meets you where you are. Grow Therapy is designed to help you find a therapist who fits your needs and supports the way you want to feel. They connect you with thousands of independent, licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions. You can search by insurance, provider specialty, treatment methods, and more to find a therapist who works for you. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/ACAST today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/ACAST. growtherapy.com/ACAST. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
This is the Daily Tech News for Monday, September 22nd, 2025. We tell you what you need to know, follow up on the context of those stories, and help each other understand.
Today, there are new details in the saga of a U.S. TikTok deal, and Oracle makes some big changes at the very top of its C-suite.
That's right. Oh, so many big stories today. I'm Jason Howell.
And I'm Robb Dunewood.
We're going to start with what you need to know with the big story. And, some days are just like this. It's like, which big story do we do? Because they're all big. But we decided to go with TikTok. Over the weekend, the White House revealed new terms in its proposed TikTok deal that would keep the app operating in the U.S. The terms would have ByteDance, which is TikTok's Chinese owner, creating a duplicate TikTok algorithm that it would lease to a new American-led joint venture. Oracle would actually oversee the algorithm's retraining as well as safeguard U.S. user data. Now, ByteDance could continue running TikTok on a global scale, while the board that's governing TikTok in the U.S. would include new investors, existing ByteDance investors, and one ByteDance representative. Now, the U.S. government will not have a board seat, nor will it appoint anyone to the board directly with the proposed deal. It will also not have any equity or what's called a golden share in this joint venture. And then when you're thinking about new investors, what does that look like? Well, Fox Corp, led by CEO Lachlan Murdoch, is negotiating to acquire a stake in the U.S. entity. Others named include Oracle's Larry Ellison, who, like I said, just a few seconds ago, Oracle also has other aspects, involvements in this deal. Dell's Michael Dell, Silver Lake, Andreessen Horowitz. That's just to name a few anyways. And legislation had aimed initially at blocking any sort of cooperation with ByteDance. So it is possible that Congress might actually challenge this lease structure. This is all kind of developing right now, but the U.S. president and the administration is expected to sign an executive order, possibly even later this week, according to Axios anyways, to finalize the sale with another, or the deal rather, with another 120-day extension to fully implement. So we've got another extension probably in the works. We've got a lot more details here, and this can get really kind of complicated. But what do you think, Rob, of this idea of it's the same TikTok, but with a, kind of like a duplicated algorithm that now the U.S. has the ability to monitor and, I don't know, do they have the ability to control it? And what does that even look like? It's very confusing. What do you think?
So I don't play a lawyer on TV, nor did I sleep in a Holiday Inn Express last night to feel like a lawyer today. But I wonder, does this meet the criteria of the actual law that we have not enforced, that was supposed to go into enforcement all the way back in January? I don't know that this does, because the big thing was that the algorithm is the problematic part for our legislatures. At least it was when they passed that law back last year. So I just wonder, does this actually do what it needs to do? I don't know. The other things are, that are around this as well. It's okay, the government isn't picking who is on the board or who ultimately will own this stuff, but the names mentioned seem to be very, very friendly to the current administration.
Selective.
Yeah. So I just, so that there's that. So I wonder if that's going to, be the way that it is, or will there be other folks on there, maybe, some other, other viewpoints. But what this really feels like is that they said a lot of words to tell us that this is still going to be suspended. We know at least until December, but it potentially could even go longer than that. We might be into 2026 before something's actually done.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that this necessarily means, and the changes are going to happen immediately. And, suddenly everything is going, the veil is going to be lifted or whatever. Yeah. I mean, the changes to the algorithm, based on what we're hearing right now, the idea that I understand out of this is, okay, beforehand, we passed, we made these, we drew these lines in the sand to say we don't trust the algorithm because it's controlled by TikTok, or it's, which is potentially controlled by the Chinese government, or whatever that allegation, whatever was driving that kind of purpose. And so as a result, we don't trust the algorithm itself. And so with this new deal, we're going to have our own version of the algorithm, same algorithm, but we're going to have a lot of people here in the US who have a drive and a purpose to make sure that that algorithm isn't sending, our secrets to the Chinese version of the app or the Chinese government via TikTok or whatever, that we have control over this amazing algorithm that drives TikTok so that US users can still continue to use it. And, is that enough, like you said, to satisfy the original requirements or the original intention behind why this all started in the first place? And, nothing's easy and simple in this current kind of world that we live in, with politics and technology overlapping, and it's just getting so confusing and so complicated. So I think that remains to be seen.
That remains to be seen. And one of the technical bits that I just wonder about is that if we license the algorithm, that algorithm will be running on a significant subset of the total population of TikTok users. It'll just be running on US based users, not the world as the algorithm currently operates, or at least my understanding of how it operates. So I just wonder, it could be siloed already. I know we do stuff with Project Texas already, but I just wonder, does it feel different? Because if it feels it all different, Americans are going to complain. So that has to be something that they've got to look at. Hey, whatever algorithm we do use, it has to look and feel and smell like TikTok that everyone knows, because if it does, even if it were to get better, people would complain that it's not the same. So that's something they've got to look out for.
It's new Coke. Like just go to old Coke again.
Right.
Coca-Cola Classic is what we want.
Right.
Important to point out another fact, or some other details about this. The app itself, this like new version of the app, will run as is, or actually, sorry, let me rephrase that. The app as it is right now is going to run the way that it has until the new form is finalized. From there, users will have to migrate to the new platform in the US. And so you hear that and you think, oh, so are users going to have to like download a new version of the app in order to do this? Some US White House officials are alluding to the fact that US users will not need to download or install a new app with this new deal. So I don't know how those two things kind of cooperate, those two facts. Like we'll see. I think there's still a lot of technical details to iron out here. And just another bit of information, there is no word on the price tag of all of this yet. We really haven't heard anything in regards to that, but I can guarantee you it's a lot.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
DTNS is made possible by you, the listener, thanks to Erwin Sturr, Ken Hayes, Philip Shane, and our new patrons, Ronald, Alan, Al, Dylan, Kent, Steve, Oliver, Theory, and Boris. And we've also got raises from Brian and Andrew. So it has been a busy time over on Patreon, and we appreciate you for it.
You guys like us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, what's up? It's Mario Lopez. Back to school is an exciting time, but it can also be overwhelming, and kids may feel isolated, a vulnerability that human traffickers can exploit. Human trafficking doesn't always look like what you expect. Everyday moments can become opportunities for someone with bad intentions. Whether you're a parent, teacher, coach, or neighbor, check in, ask questions, stay connected. Blue Campaign is a national awareness initiative that provides resources to help recognize suspected instances of human trafficking. Learn the signs and how to report at dhs.gov/Blue Campaign.
It's almost fall, and that means Nordstrom has the best fall fashion under $200. Not only do they have the best trends like trench coats, suede jackets, but they also have the best brands like Urban Outfitters, Madewell, Sporty and Rich. And obviously, don't forget beauty. They have Anastasia Beverly Hills, Beauty Blender, Kosas. And Nordstrom makes it so easy to get what you need and add it quickly into your daily routine. They have fast delivery and risk-free shopping. You can buy online, pick up today, or pick up tomorrow for a wider selection. Or you can pick curbside at Nordstrom stores and Nordstrom Rack. Both options are quick and convenient. Nordstrom also has 2-day shipping and next-day options, so you can get all of your items even faster. And if you need a little extra help, Nordstrom has stylists for free, and their experts will create looks and match your style with your budget. Shop now in stores at Nordstrom.com or download the Nordstrom app.
Most people overpay for car insurance, not because they're careless, but because switching feels like too much hassle. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry compares rates side by side from over 50 top insurers and helps you switch with ease. Jerry even tracks market rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Switch with confidence. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/ACAST today.
If you're navigating anxiety, depression, relationship challenges, postpartum struggles, or something else, you deserve care that meets you where you are. Grow Therapy is designed to help you find a therapist who fits your needs and supports the way you want to feel. They connect you with thousands of independent, licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions. You can search by insurance, provider specialty, treatment methods, and more to find a therapist who works for you. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/ACAST today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/ACAST. growtherapy.com/ACAST. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
Hey, it's Maya and Sim from the Girls That Invest podcast. If you are an IT or security pro, you know managing devices, identities, and applications can feel overwhelming and honestly risky. That's where Trellica by 1Password comes in. It helps conquer SaaS sprawl and shadow IT by discovering every app your team uses, managed or not. With pre-built app profiles, you can assess risk, manage access, and even optimize your software spend. Plus, it simplifies onboarding, offboarding, and compliance, all while cutting costs by eliminating unused licenses. Take the first step to better security for your team. Learn more at onepassword.com/special offer.
There's more we need to know today. Let's get to the briefs.
Oracle has appointed Clay Magoriak and Mike Cecilia as co-CEOs, replacing Safra Katz, who will now serve as executive vice chair. Magoriak previously led Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, and Cecilia managed Oracle Industries, which included work in applied AI. The move comes at a time when enterprise demand for AI solutions is booming, and each co-CEO's experience is seen as important assets in Oracle's push to scale its cloud services and strengthen its position in AI-powered business applications. In other news, Oracle is in advanced talks with Meta for a potential $20 billion cloud computing agreement that would supply Meta with a massive amount of computing power to train and deploy its AI models. The deal is still under negotiation.
Geez, Oracle, leave some like tech news space for somebody else. You're just like hogging it up right now.
I think Larry Ellison liked being the richest person in the world for that couple of hours back a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
and he's doing everything that he can do to say, "Hey, I want to get back there. I like being number one."
Let's just keep this snowball rolling. Yeah, I mean this, the deal, the Meta Oracle deal that's a pretty massive. Cloud compute deal. Could give Meta a lot of resources for the development of its own Llama models. Could also serve, undoubtedly would serve as a major boost for Oracle as a really strong key AI partner in the realm of infrastructure. And, we've seen Wall Street tending to agree on this. I think it was 4% up since the news of the Meta deal broke. If you care about that sort of thing, it just kind of signals their approval. Oracle making some big news right now in many different ways. Last Friday, the U.S. president issued an executive order requiring employers to pay a $100,000 fee to process applications for H-1B visas. Now, that is a temporary visa that's issued to skilled workers with a bachelor's degree or higher who get to work in the U.S. but do not intend to immigrate there. The White House said the new fee will only apply to new applicants, not existing visa holders, and the H-1B fee may not be charged for all new applications. The executive order says that the fee will not be imposed if the Secretary of Homeland Security determines that hiring such workers, quote, is in the national interest and does not pose a threat to the security or welfare of the United States, end quote. In other words, basically what that means, the government can give tech companies exemptions from the fees. They could give the exemption broadly and only apply the fee for positions that would be sensitive to things like espionage, or they could apply the fee broadly and use it as leverage to negotiate with tech companies. And that seems like a big part of this is the negotiation fact. How can we keep the money rolling in on this, this other stream? It's just tied up with so many things right now. Immigration, it's all there.
Yeah, this is big news because there are a lot of foreign workers who utilize the H-1B visas. The problem comes in is that when you think about the biggest of the big tech companies, they can afford it. But if you're the small startup to where it's someone that you went to college with and their college visa is ending and they may have to go back home, but you're doing this startup and it costs you $100,000 to just stay here to continue to do the work in the garage that you were doing, this doesn't help that at all. In fact, it hinders it significantly so. So it'll be interesting to see how the exemptions are given, because I think that we do like the story of the kids in the garage that build Microsoft or build Google or do that is in jeopardy if those kids aren't from the United States. and they have to go back to their country, and it costs them $100,000 to come here to work on a project that they particularly picked the skills up in school while they were here. That's one of the big issues that I see with this.
Yeah, indeed. Agreed. Be interesting.
Google Chrome 141 for iPhone introduces liquid glass with iOS 26. This is Google's first visual redesign tailored to the new UI style. Changes including a floating keyboard, updated context menus, and lots of rounded corners. Chrome for Android also gets an unrelated update that improves the read aloud feature. The new update will lean on Notebook LM style audio overviews and generate a two-person podcast summary of the web page currently in focus. Users can tap the More icon and select listen to this page.
Yeah, with the redesign, it's so interesting because Google has its own app kind of UI. It's called Material 3 Expressive now. It used to be Material Design or Material U. It's all over the place. And so we've seen in the past how Google has taken its own UI and applied it to its apps on iOS. And I guess the question is always, do you stick with your own internal kind of approach, in this case Material 3 Expressive, or do you adapt your app to the platform that it's on? And I think depending on the app, I don't know, I'm assuming, but maybe I'm wrong, are you an iOS user?
I am not.
Is there inconsistencies across Google?
So I am I have iOS devices, but I'm all in on Android. I'm an Android user, have been since the original iPhone came out. It was just too small for my big giant hands, and I didn't like it. And I just went Android because they made big phones back in the day. What I think is going on here is that Google is intimately aware that from a market share standpoint on their phone, not necessarily their operating system, but on their phone, Apple has significant advantage. And if you're going to try to woo someone who is using an iPhone to come over first to Google or come over first to Android and then maybe to a Pixel, making them mad at the experience that they have on their existing device using Google products does not help you. So I think what Google has decided to do is that we have users who use iPhones, and they have design language that those users probably want to have their iPhones work on our applications in the same way that Apple applications work. And that's probably, in my opinion, not a bad idea for Google.
Mm-hmm. Yep, totally. I think that where Google kind of gets lost sometimes with these things is the inconsistencies across its different departments and efforts. Mm-hmm. And I think what I have heard, what I understand about Google apps on iOS devices, that some of them are attuned to the iOS experience and design aesthetic. Some of them are attuned to Google's design aesthetic. They're not all on the same page. This one going to liquid glass, is going to make it feel really integrated and everything with the liquid glass aesthetic. I'll be curious to see how they bring that to some of their other apps and if they make that a priority and they all kind of fall in line with that. The Apple iPhone Air finally got its iFixit teardown, which reveals that the slim device, oh so slim, can hold its own on repairability, actually scoring a pretty reasonable 7 out of 10. The battery design is the same as the iPhone 16, which means easy battery swaps using electrically released adhesives. The device also has a modular USB-C port, making it a little easier to replace. iFixit shared that the slimness of the device actually makes repairs, quote, more approachable, not less. I think that was kind of surprising to me, to be honest. And if you really, really like the iPhone Air, perhaps you'd love having two of them joined with a hinge on the side. And apparently that's what you can expect coming soon, according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, who shared details of Apple's upcoming foldable over the weekend in his Power On newsletter. He also said that the price tag would be more than $2,000, which I think that's that's what I expected anyways. And that the device would be, quote, super thin and a design achievement. So you liked your iPhone Air, so you got two of them and joined them at the hinge.
That is huge news because I have not really heard regular Android users say, or I should say regular iPhone users say, you know what, I really like the design of that Google device. I want to just go over there and get one of those. That's usually not the conversation. But when it comes to the Flip, and in some cases, even the Fold. There are a lot of iPhone users who have switched just because they thought the device was really cute and it fits in their pocket better. So I wondered how long it was going to be before Apple would say, okay, the Earth is telling us we see enough signal out there that everybody except us is making foldables. Let's go ahead and get on board, and let's do it so well that everybody forgets in 2 or 3 years that we didn't have them first, and they'll think everybody copied us.
Oh, and that's just how it goes, isn't it?
MediaTek unveiled its Dimensity 9500 chip, its latest and greatest mobile flagship, aiming for high-end phones along with top-shelf on-device AI, strong performance, and power efficiency. The chip uses its third-generation all-big core CPU with 3 premium cores, 4 performance cores, and up to 4.21 gigahertz clock speed. MediaTek says it delivers 32% better performance in single-core operations and 17% in multi-core operations over the previous version. New phones with the chip are set to begin appearing in Q4. So I actually looked up, I said, well, who uses MediaTek? And most of the phones are not phones that are sold here. Even the Samsung ones aren't generally ones that are sold here, but this is a nice processor to go into, probably what would be a mid-range phone.
No, MediaTek has made a lot of strides in the last couple of years. I have, I've been talking about these processors a lot, even though I am fully, I'm the first to admit I am not a processor spec kind of stand. Like, I'm not the person to really dive deep into systems on a chip and all that kind of stuff. But from a user perspective, I got very used to seeing MediaTek in low to mid-range devices and just kind of always assumed like, oh, MediaTek's just that processor that they use when they can't afford the Qualcomm chip. But that has changed a lot in the last couple of years, and MediaTek has gotten way more competitive on their top-end chips. And so I think this chip is probably their aim to at least attempt to get closer, if not go toe-to-toe with Qualcomm's biggest chip, which is, by the way, this news comes a day before Qualcomm's big Snapdragon Summit happens tomorrow. They're going to officially unveil what they've already announced, or at least teased, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. That's their top-of-the-line premium flagships smartphone SoC. And I think MediaTek is, making a lot of strides to bring an alternative to the market from their portfolio that can go toe-to-toe. Whether it will, that remains to be seen. But I have regularly fallen victim to just believing that like MediaTek's whatever, they're a second rate, blah, blah, and been corrected many times for it, because like they've made a lot of changes and they've actually proved themselves in a lot of ways. So I'll be curious to see how it performs. We shall see. And finally, Suno's courtroom saga. Suno, of course, AI-generated music service. Their courtroom saga continues as major record labels have intensified legal action by alleging the company illegally, quote, stream-ripped copyright songs from YouTube to train its models. Now, the RIAA's new complaint claims Suno bypassed YouTube's encryption in the process, and what that means is they ended up violating the DMCA's anti-circumvention rules if found to be guilty of this. The lawsuit seeks statutory damages of $2,500 for each act and up to $150,000 per infringing work. And Suno has not made a statement or, about these claims publicly yet that I could find. But I think what this really reminds me of is we've seen in the last handful of weeks the Anthropic book authors case and what's been happening there. And Judge Alsup in that case ended up setting aside the books that were part of the case that were actually procured legally, let's say. I mean, essentially buying used books, which is legal to do. And at that point, he basically said, well, it's fair use. You bought the books. They were legally acquired, whatever. It's the fact that you illegally torrented, a bunch of books and basically procured those illegally. And And so I think here is similar to that, right? Like the provenance of where this material comes from is a really big deal. And I think there's going to be some overlap between these two.
And if you think about that copyright, case, the judge set the $1.5 billion settlement aside. He said, no, that might not be enough. So, which is, we thought $1.5 billion is a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money compared to what it could be. And we may be seeing that judges are saying, hey, we might want this to be more. So this is going to be really interesting to see how this ultimately plays out, because if they are found to be violating this, the penalty could be put out of business big. It could be, for sure. We just no longer can exist as a company if this is the fine that we now owe.
Totally. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Very curious to see what that ends up in.
What do you want to hear us talk about on the show? One way to let us know is in our subreddit. So submit stories and vote on them at www.reddit.com/r/Daily Tech News Show.
You open the fridge. There's nothing there. So what's it going to be? Greasy pizza? Sad drive-thru burgers? Dish by Blue Apron is for nights like that. These are the pre-made meals of your dreams. At least 20 grams of protein, no artificial flavors or colors, no chopping, no cleanup, no guilt. Keep the flavor. Ditch the subscription. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
It's almost fall, and that means Nordstrom has the best fall fashion under $200. Not only do they have the best trends like trench coats, suede jackets, but they also have the best brands like Urban Outfitters, Madewell, Sporty and Rich. And obviously, don't forget beauty. They have Anastasia Beverly Hills, Beauty Blender, Kosas. And Nordstrom makes it so easy to get what you need and add it quickly into your daily routine. They have fast delivery and risk-free shopping. You can buy online, pick up today, or pick up tomorrow for a wider selection. Or you can pick curbside at Nordstrom stores and Nordstrom Rack. Both options are quick and convenient. Nordstrom also has 2-day shipping and next-day options, so you can get all of your items even faster. And if you need a little extra help, Nordstrom has stylists for free, and their experts will create looks and match your style with your budget. Shop now in stores at Nordstrom.com or download the Nordstrom app.
We end every episode of DTNS with some shared wisdom. Today, Mohan has a thought regarding Friday's story. Me and Jen talked about Samsung turning on ads for smart refrigerators.
Right. So Mohan writes, regarding Samsung and its fridge with ads, I've never been happier with my choice of running a Pi-hole on my network. Thanks, Samsung.
Yeah, Pi-hole would do it. So for those who don't know, Pi-hole is a network ad blocker that uses the Raspberry Pi. You can do a whole lot of different things, cool things with the Raspberry Pi computer, very cheap, inexpensive computer. And yeah, this is one great way to use it. I know a lot of people have their Raspberry Pis specifically for a Pi-hole that really kind of monitors on a network level and filters out, certain types of traffic and stuff like that. Yeah. Here you go. Suddenly ad-free experience.
Yeah, when I first saw the news that this is what Samsung is potentially going to do, I started to think about the Minority Report and how just everything that had a screen on it was advertising. And I'm like,
oh, totally.
Oh, my goodness, please don't do that. It's like, it would be cool maybe to look at a box of cereal and it's got a cartoon or something on it, but I don't want to look at the fridge and be told, hey, you know what, you don't have eggs, and eggs are on sale over at Buc-ee's for $1.99.
Yeah, no, not digging it. That's the example that I end up comparing it to as well, and then when we think about a future where we're wearing AR, augmented reality glasses and all this kind of stuff, you can see where this is heading. It's like far enough down the distance. Yeah, it's there somewhere, hiding in plain sight. What are you thinking about? If you have insight into any of the stories we talked about today, or maybe a story that we didn't talk about, share it with us. Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com. Big thanks to Mohan for contributing to today's show. Thank you for being along for Daily Tech News Show. You can keep us in business, and we hope that you do. Become a patron at patreon.com/DTNS. We'll see you tomorrow.
the DTNS family of podcasts, helping each other understand.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
It's almost fall, and that means Nordstrom has the best fall fashion under $200. Not only do they have the best trends like trench coats, suede jackets, but they also have the best brands like Urban Outfitters, Madewell, Sporty and Rich. And obviously, don't forget beauty. They have Anastasia Beverly Hills, Beauty Blender, Kosas. And Nordstrom makes it so easy to get what you need and add it quickly into your daily routine. They have fast delivery and risk-free shopping. You can buy online, pick up today, or pick up tomorrow for a wider selection. Or you can pick curbside at Nordstrom stores and Nordstrom Rack. Both options are quick and convenient. Nordstrom also has 2-day shipping and next-day options, so you can get all of your items even faster. And if you need a little extra help, Nordstrom has stylists for free, and their experts will create looks and match your style with your budget. Shop now in stores at Nordstrom.com or download the Nordstrom app.
Walmart Business is in the business of helping your business. Regardless of whether you're building bridges, building spreadsheets, or building lesson plans. Ooh, that looks fun. Walmart Business can help save you time, money, and hassle so you can focus on what you're building instead of what your supply closet is missing. In short, we take care of business so you can do more with yours. We're the Walmart you love, now for your business. Learn more at business.walmart.com.